We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It is Wednesday, and we're going to do one of those weird podcasts today. Because while we're doing an audio podcast, the video podcast, I'm also going to do a live on TikTok all at the same time. Kill three birds with one stone. And why? Maybe because you like that, or maybe because I'm just a lazy fuck. I think it's a little bit of both, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm going to go live now on TikTok. We'll see what comes up here. And if nothing comes up, then we'll just talk about a normal shit. But chances are we're going to have a lot of folks out here. I have a number of things I want to talk about anyway. We're just waiting to see if anybody shows up. I think they probably will. Got a moderator set up. His name is Great Captain. He's been a huge help to doing these lives. I need a moderator because the Trump trolls keep coming in and causing all kinds of bullshit. We've got 5 people in on the live right now. Welcome to all of you. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff. Just so you know, I'm also recording this as a podcast. So if you only saw a part of this live, you can always go to YouTube and see the video. Same thing you're seeing here, basically, or listen to the audio on the Rational Boomer podcast. So no matter what, even if you can't stay for the whole thing, we got you covered and you can check it out. So anyway, all right, we've got some folks on the live. I'm recording the podcast at the same time. And I'm glad you folks are showing up because we got some shit to talk about. First and foremost, I still got this fucking cold. So if you hear me coughing or hacking or whatever, and it bugs you, too bad. I'm going to do it anyway. I have no fucking choice. I'm sick, but I'm getting better. It's just when you get old, it takes a little longer for you to recover. I wanted to talk about one thing particularly. Maybe you'll remember that I did a debate with that Trumplafuck Jeff _HVAC_69. It's an interesting situation. We had him on the podcast, and while a lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it, and I get that. But I felt like I needed to get that off my chest, and I did. Well, then one of my followers or peers, sent me a video of a TikTok that he did. And this TikTok that he did was saying how he dunked on Rational Boomer. Well, hell no. If you listen to the podcast, if you listen to the alleged debate, that isn't at all what happened. But that's a Trumplafuck for you. So I called him out on it. Said, look, motherfucker, I was pretty civil to you on this particular show, but you want me to come in here live. We're going to have a different set of circumstances because I'm pissed now. I just have to say this. Ing Shu says, sir, I have something important to talk to you about. Okay, go ahead, shoot. Anyway, so he said he didn't do it. And I said, well, I saw the videotape. And then he started to say, well, a lot of your followers were coming after me. I said, wait a minute. I don't have my followers come after anybody. I don't need to people fight my battles. And I said, I would never encourage them to do it. In fact, I would discourage you to do it if that's what was going on. And then he said one particular follower tried to dox him. Now, I don't know who the follower was. And if that's true, I'm dead set against it. If you're somebody that would do something like that, fuck you. Don't do it. Not even to a Trumplafuck. So I don't know if I'll be going to his live or not. He's a little shook by how the Rational Boomer fans reacted to him. And I said, look, if you go out, talk shit and lie, you can expect that kind of reaction from people. How about you just shut your mouth and be decent about things? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So I don't know if I'm going to go and do his live. He seemed a little nervous about it, but who knows? Anyhow, let's read some of these questions. I hope that Jeff guy doesn't come to your live stream. Well, he won't. He could maybe come to this live stream, but I'm not putting anybody on because I'm recording this at a podcast. I can't put anybody else on to talk because that won't transfer onto the podcast. So there'll be no guest in that regard. I might like to do that later on, bring in guests. They wouldn't be the podcast, of course. I'm not against doing it, but on this way, in this situation, it's not going to happen. Uh, Great Captain says, my hunch is he's lying because he doesn't want to face you in his live. Liar's gonna lie. Great Captain's one of the moderators. I thought of that and I'm not surprised. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but every time you give a Trumplefuck the benefit of the doubt, you get to be made like a fool. So I don't know what his situation is, but fuck him. I do not like him. And if we do have occasion to talk, it's not going to be pleasant for him, and I won't hold back this time. Amazing big God, I think you're a great creator. I really like what you're going to say. It makes sense. Thank you. LOL, he was talking about it the other day. Yeah, I know he's talking his ass off. But when I confront him, he gets real quiet because he's a gutless piece of shit. Let's see here. Don't like HVAC. No, neither do I. Love your kind, sir. Thank you for your content. Thank you, Stevie PBB. What else do we got going here? I love listening to you, Mr. Boomer. Thank you very much, Bernice. You're awesome, Mike. Thanks. It's tough reading, the accolades here. I feel like such a dick reading it. I appreciate them, but you don't need to do that. Wait, please tell what happened. Okay, for those of you that don't know, I had this Trumplefuck on. He was running around saying he was the best debater on TikTok. Now, I'm not thinking myself as the best debater on TikTok. I know I'm not. But that particularly got to me, especially since I watched one of his lives and I saw that he was just talking shit, complete shit. So I said, you want to test it out? Come to my show. And he did. And he did pretty much what you expected, talked in circles, talked shit. I hit him hard the first half, and then the second half I eased up a little bit because he wasn't a horrible guy. He wasn't a nasty guy. He was just a delusional guy. And that was my mistake. I should have just buried him and been done with him. But of course, then he goes out and starts telling folks that he beat me, that he dunked on Rational Boomer. And that just pissed me off. Just pissed me off. Hey, from Kansas, Boomer, Rhonda. I don't know if Jeff's out here right now or not. Don't give a fuck. I don't know about you, but I feel interacting with MAGA is simply exhausting and depressing. Yeah, you're right. You go into this thing, and I think I'm going to get a lot off my chest, and I just feel shitty afterwards. Like I said, at one point, it felt like kicking a puppy. You need to run for office, buddy. No, I wouldn't be a good politician. I don't listen to shit. I'm not diplomatic, and I don't like fucked up meetings. Good to see you. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to see my granddaughter, so it's going to be fucking awesome. Everything you say about Trump is true. Yeah. It doesn't make me a genius, though. It just makes me be able to recognize what's obvious. Take him to the cleaners on his live. I will show up on his live if he really wants me to, but it won't be as pleasant as the podcast. And now I'm kind of pissed off about it. Now I need to straighten his shit out, and I can be as loud and obnoxious as he is, except I come with facts. He comes with bullshit. Got a lot of other stuff going on other than this TikTok drama. I hate TikTok drama, to be perfectly honest with you. You and Mr. Global should do a post. Yeah, Mr. Global's a great guy. He's a very knowledgeable guy, way smarter than I am. I'd love to do something with him. I just don't know him. I love the work Biden is doing to my bank account, whatever that means. Glad to see another rational Minnesotan here on Love Your Videos. I take it you're a Minnesotan. What's up, homie? Um, we actually have a lot of Minnesotans that show up on my feed and in my lives too, and it's good to see. Sometimes I walk around here and go to some of the places, and I'm thinking we got more Trumplafucks than anything, but there's some sane ones out there. Mark Halsey says, Happy Thanksgiving. Love your content. Thanks very much. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you have a great day planned. And if you have a drunk Trumplafuck uncle, just stay away from them. It's uh, it's not a problem. Just stay away from them. You'll be better off. How do you deal with trolls? I don't deal with trolls. Great Captain deals with trolls, and he does a hell of a job. As far as on my page, normally I block just about every Trumplafuck I run into, so I don't get many Trumplafucks on my regular feed. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, Great Captain says, please don't engage with trolls. Just ignore them like their parents did. Mods will take care of them. Exactly. Good advice. Mike, watch you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Jesus. Well, Jesus, you know what? I'm going to be in Vegas November or December 8th through the 11th. Uh, we're going to be there maybe for the football game or something else. I love going to Vegas. You know who else lives in Vegas? You know who else I'd like to do a live with? That would be Old Soul. She's been on the show a number of times, and um, people just love this woman. She's very bright, very articulate, very compassionate, and she has a lot of great insights. So maybe I'll get her on a live when I'm in Vegas. Born in St. Cloud, raised in Robbinsdale, Lisa Marie. Know St. Cloud very well. My wife and I lived in Golden Valley for a time. My wife raised in Golden Valley, so I'm very familiar with Robbinsdale. In fact, my grandparents lived there when I was very little. Love Robbinsdale. I used to live in Uptown. Minneapolis was a great city for about 2 months in the summer. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's actually pretty nice here as of late. It's been in the 50s and 60s in mid-November. That's fucking crazy here. Must be that El Nino bullshit. I'm not a boomer, but you're easy to listen to. Yeah, that's surprising. You know, I have two millennial sons, and I don't know that they could say that, but I appreciate what you're saying here. Um, we share the same birthday, David Ochoa, April 16th, 1960. That's my birthday. Always love your content, Rudy Gutierrez. Keep up the good work, Boomer. Love your content. Thank you. The character Jeff69, do you plan to go on his podcast? He doesn't have a podcast. I'll go on his live if he wants to, but he seems a little reluctant now because he's afraid of all you crazy motherfuckers that he says are going after him. Don't go after Jeff. Don't go after anybody on my behalf. I don't need that help. I'm a big enough asshole. I can handle it myself. I'm hoping Trump gets jail time. What is your opinion? I think he will get jail time or some kind of lockdown. I don't know what, where, or how, but something's going to have to happen. He's going to have to be held accountable and punished. Otherwise, that's going to cause problems in this country. What do you think the chances are a Republican president pardoning Trump? Well, it's going to be a while because there isn't going to be a Republican president in 2024, and I don't believe there'll be one in 2028 either. So by the time he's ready to get pardoned by a Republican president, they won't give a shit about him, and he probably won't be with us anymore. Wade, good. I just love your content. You seem to tell the truth. I try to the best of my ability. What happened with Jeff? Well, I kicked his ass in the podcast. He went on and told everybody he kicked my ass, trying to set something up for the live, but then he's gotten a little skittish because he says some of my followers have been all over his shit. And get this, he says, it's like you're part of a cult. Isn't that fucking ironic, huh? The guy who is in the cult is claiming we're a cult. We're not a cult because I'm not your leader. I'm just one of the guys that happens to talk the loudest. If he gets convicted in GA in Georgia, the chance of getting pardoned by a Republican POTUS is zero. That's right. President cannot pardon a state crime. Will Biden pardon Trump? No. He's 81 years old. If he gets back in, he's working on his legacy. He knows what happened to Gerald Ford when he pardoned Richard Nixon. You think he's stupid enough to repeat that? I don't think so. All Jeff did was talk as fast as he could and lie, lie, lie. Yeah, that's what they all do. They talk fast. And like I told him, I can do that too. I can talk as fast as he does. I can talk as loud and long as he does. I choose not to do it unless I go back on the live. Then it's just going to be my attempt to dominate him in every fucking way. Lorenzo at that's for somebody else. I think they had someone writing him a script all day, and the audience are told to laugh and applaud. I'm not sure what you mean. The kids are unhappy about Palestine, though. Look, if you're unhappy about how Joe Biden is handling and supporting Israel, here's what you need to know. Israel is a ally of the United States. Excuse me. The United States is required or responsible for backing Israel. Every president is responsible for backing Israel, whether they be Republican or Democrat. They are responsible for backing Israel. Now, you see what Joe's doing, though. You're seeing a lot of him trying to calm things down, like get this ceasefire and get hostages released. Joe's putting military pressure with the boats on Hamas, and he's telling Israel, if you don't fuck around and get serious, we're going to sanction your ass. You think these two would come to terms like they just did on this current ceasefire and the exchange of hostages? No, that's all Joe Biden. So you can be mad at Joe Biden all you want, but you got to remember, didn't Donald Trump say he was Israel's greatest friend? Isn't he the one that made us look foolish in military and diplomatic situations? That's what I got to ask people. You're mad at Joe about Israel, or you think he's too old. So what's your play then? What's your option? You're going to vote for the treasonous, the criminal, the corrupt piece of shit just to prove a point? Well, then you're part of the problem too, and you can fucking move on. Trump has no friends. Yeah, that's a common situation with narcissists. They look good from a distance, but when you get to know them, you don't have too many friends. People see the cracks in the facade and they're not impressed. Jeff was concentrating more on the beer. I don't know if he had beer, but the guy was sitting in his van with the lights off. Well, what the fuck is that? I asked him if he was in a bomb shelter. I don't know. In some ways, I feel sorry for the guy, but if you keep running your mouth and you're talking shit and you're lying about me, I don't have much sympathy for you. People don't realize that if we came together, we could be a wonderful nation. Absolutely, we could. Trump is broke. He needs money to get money any way he can. Yeah, he is broke. And he's going to be broker when this lawsuit ends up in a month or so or less. They're going to take everything from him. He's going to be a shell of his former self. Let's see here. How old is Jeff? He said he was 38. I think his birthday is today. All we have to do is look at the outcome of the people who work closely with Trump. Yeah, you look at the legal cases, and what do we have? We have all the witnesses are people that work for Trump. I mean, what's that fucking tell you? They all flipped on Trump. Moving on. The orange blimp is only 3 years younger than Joe and not as good a shape emotionally, mentally, or physically. You're right. Absolutely, Zeke's pop. Hey, Mike, how are you feeling? Better? Yeah, I feel better. I still got a little congestion in my chest, sometimes my nose. It's really hard to lay flat without feeling like I'm drowning. So I've been sitting up and sleeping a lot. Last night I fell asleep in this fucking chair doing whatever I was doing. I passed out. Wake up next morning, my body's achy, and it's 7 o'clock, and here I am sitting in this chair. But I'm better. Does anyone else remember the one weird guy praying to Trump on his live? Vaguely. These people are idiots, though. They're fucking absolute idiots. He's going to lose Mar-a-Lago. And it's interesting that you bring that up. I've seen some tweets that people have put on TikTok that suggest Deutsche Bank is going to foreclose on Mar-a-Lago. I thought that's a cool story, but I looked into it and I haven't found any other source for that information. That's what happens a lot on TikTok and other social media. They will come up with these little stories, but they'll seemingly come from nowhere. So you really can't believe them. So I think ultimately he'll lose Mar-a-Lago because the company in New York is the one that kind of runs Mar-a-Lago. So even though Mar-a-Lago isn't in New York, it's tied to a company in New York, and he's going to lose that shit. Plus, he's going to need the money. Let's see. I tried listening to your debate with Jeff. I think I got bored. Garlic and honey. I've been doing black tea and honey. Garlic's not a bad idea. I will try it. Gooby Lube says she lasted 30 minutes. That's what they all say. Here's the ironic thing, Gooby. Everybody says I only list 10 minutes. I didn't like it. I only lasted 15 minutes. But did you know that podcast has more listeners than any other podcast I've ever done? And it's got like 5 times as many watches on YouTube than any one I've ever done. Yeah, it's weird. People have to remember Joe Biden is a humanitarian. Oh no, I missed your debate with Jeff. It's all right. All you have to do is go to YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. You can run it. It's recorded. Or go to the podcast. It's a few back. You can listen to it. Is Jeff HVAC the one you're talking about? The very same. That's exactly who I'm talking about. Thank you, Boomer. Please keep us all informed. I'll do what I can. Maybe Jared could give him a loan. Yeah, well, maybe, but I doubt it. Jared doesn't seem like the greatest guy in the world. Glad you're feeling better. Stay tough. You'll beat it. Oh, yeah. It's just a cold, man. It's not cancer. It's just cold. I'll beat it. Trump has 5 years of life left tops, and mark my words, he will die in prison. I'm going to hold you to that. I watched the podcast to the end. You did a good job managing someone who's unmanageable. Well, thank you for that. I keep thinking that you call him Jeff H8-track. That's probably because of the cold. It's Jeff HVAC, as in heating and air conditioning or whatever. Are you concerned that the 11th Circuit hasn't intervened in the Docs case? Well, it's not a matter of the 11th Circuit intervening. It has to be Jack Smith who sends a motion or whatever he does to the 11th Circuit. Then the 11th Circuit can react to it. I'm not worried about it because I know Jack knows what the fuck is up. He's probably waiting for the right time, the right situation where she's been exposed the most, and he feels like he's going to get the proper answer. He needs to nail it down. So I'm not concerned about that at all. I think Jack Smith knows what's fucking up, and he's going to get her out of there ultimately. All right. Bro, I enjoy your videos. You better than CNN, MSNBC News. Thank you. I appreciate that. At least I'm not going to bullshit you like they will sometimes. Andrea North Fork says he drives me crazy, but I will watch. I'm assuming you're talking about Jeff and not me. Well, maybe not. You're awesome. Love your platform. Thank you very much. I know I just think it's funny. All right, Mike, peace out from Vegas. That guy, Jeff, ain't got nothing on you. Thank you, Jesus. And when I get to Vegas, I'll get out of the car and I'll start yelling for Jesus. If you hear me, come running. Dude, keep being awesome. Thank you very much. Do you think if convicted, Trump will ever do time behind bars? I think he'll be locked down one way or another. They can't help it. I mean, this guy is not only the most prolific former president criminal, he's probably the most prolific criminal of all time. I mean, how many criminals do you know that have at least 91 felony charges and charges against this country? Um, if he isn't put behind bars, I think there's going to be an uproar in this country. And I think they want to try to avoid that if possible. Darlene Morehouse is Trump 2024. Great captain. Enjoying your content. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Michael Cohen made a great point about him being locked up and selling secrets to get favors. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it. What do you think? What do you think Biden and his family is? I don't know about Biden, but you could use English 101 as far as forming sentences. Wait till the skinheads interact with Trump in jail. You know, I tell you what's going to happen to Trump is he is going to be segregated. Nobody's going to get near him. So I don't think he'll have that. Do you think he'll be under house arrest? It's possible. It's possible. But that's assuming he has a fucking house. After this lawsuit, he may have no place to live. He may welcome 3 hots and a cot. Hold on a second. All right. White collar prison, yeah, probably. Doesn't matter. The fact that he's locked down with his ADHD will drive him fucking mental. First time voting in 2024. I'm excited not to vote red. Chum Helene. You go and vote blue. Because here's the deal. If Donald Trump gets in, I'm an old man, I'm 63, my life isn't going to change. What's going to happen, though, is it's going to affect all you young people. You're going to have to live with that decision. So take it seriously and make the right decision. You said Trump was a criminal. Hold on. You said Trump was a criminal. What do you think Biden is? Nothing wrong with my English. Sue, there's another one for you, great captain. Fox News puts out that turkey costs $90. Where the fuck are you buying that? It's not $90. I can go to the local grocery store and spend maybe 25 or 30 max. That's stupid. They just make shit up. Is it possible he'll be pardoned in exchange for public concession of 2020? That will end his brand. I don't think Donald Trump will ever do that. Narcissists are incapable of admitting they're wrong. And I don't think that'll even be offered to them. That would be an easy way out, and they can't afford to give that to them. Do you think we will have a civil unrest no matter who wins the presidency? No, I don't. I think it's more likely if Trump would win, but Trump's not going to win. Now, we've heard about the Civil War and the civil unrest that all the Trump-fucks are going to do. But every time Donald Trump is indicted and charged, nothing ever happens. There just isn't enough people willing to go out and risk their ass like they did in Washington, D.C. They saw what happened to them, and they aren't going to fuck around. Phillips Mary Hay from Southern Ohio, happy Thanksgiving. Love your shows. Thank you very much. These Trumpers don't realize he wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire. Well, that's exactly true. He's an elitist, and most of these toothless fucks wouldn't even get close to him. Why don't they go after Jared and Ivanka? They got money illegally. They should be investigated. I think they are being investigated, actually. You know, with all the other shit going on, we're not exactly hearing about all that's happening, but I think Jared and Ivanka are being looked into. You don't get handed $2 billion for nothing and not raise a red flag. All right. Aloha from Hawaii. Aloha to you. Turkey here was 35 cents a pound. Awesome. So at 35 cents a pound, that's basically 3 pounds for a buck. So for 90 bucks, that would have to have been a 270-pound turkey. Well, if you're buying a 270-pound turkey for 90 bucks, the fuck is wrong with you? You need to have your head looked at. Gray Captain. Sir, I just want to thank you for your straightforward commentary. I pray continued blessings for you. Thank you. Let's see here. You're 63, I'm 56. Yep. 63 years old. I remember when I was 56. Kind of. I remember the 70s better than when I was 56. Why don't you ask why there are never Trump supporters at any lootings or smash and grabs? Well, there were. I'm in Minneapolis, remember? The George Floyd riots? It turns out there were several white supremacist Trump supporting motherfuckers that instigated all that shit. Now, granted, there were some other people of color that got into it, but it was stimulated by white supremacist motherfuckers. So they're always there. And it doesn't make a difference. Do you understand the difference between a riot, a race riot for whatever reason, and trying to overthrow the government? There's no comparison. They're apples and oranges. Riots happen. Overthrowing the country is a fucking crime against this country. It puts us in danger. Don't try to make that comparison. It doesn't fucking work. Let's see, Southeast Minnesota. Love you. Love my blue state. I do too. I'm a lot of Republicans don't like Governor Walz, but I do. He got a lot of shit done in this state. Let's see here. I honestly take any Republican, even if it's not Trump. So what? Republicans are all MAGA. They may try to avoid being MAGA, but they all support MAGA. So as far as I'm concerned, they're still MAGA. Trump has to lose a new Republican or a new person that will bring the country back together. Republicans are in for a long haul if they plan to get back into the shit. Can we get rid of gerrymandering? Yeah, we can. And some of it has been taken to court and they're stopping it. It's going to take us to win the 2024 election and straighten that shit out. There's no such thing as the Republican Party. I agree with you. The Republican Party as we once knew it no longer exists. It doesn't resemble anything we knew of a Republican Party. It's the MAGA Party, whether they like it or not. I don't understand that they say January 6th was a peaceful rally. Well, because it wasn't. They're trying real hard, you know. The new Speaker of the House thought he was cool, and he's releasing some of those surveillance videos. No evidence that they were right has come out, but apparently the FBI found some other insurrectionists that they're going to arrest now. So nice job, Mike. Hey, man, I think you're great. Thank you, Robert. Do you think Newsom will ever get in? I think Newsom could get in. I think he might be a good presidential candidate. Not till 2028, I don't believe. And 2028 is quite a ways out. I mean, there's other people that could come to the forefront. Hakeem Jeffries, Katie Porter, stuff like that. So I think he's got as good a chance as anybody, and I think he might be a good president. I know Republicans who vote both sides. Well, that's possible. I find it amusing that some Trump supporters have Trump signs in their windows because no pains. Yeah. A lot of the Trump fans aren't the classiest of folks. Thoughts on Project 2025? Yeah, I'm tired of that boogeyman. Everybody's going, oh no, 2025. That's going to bring us down. That's going to turn us into a fascist country. You understand the only way 2025 even becomes a thing is if a Republican becomes president. And even still, they're going to have some help in Congress. And that's just not going to happen. Fact is, a Republican will not win in 2024. And at that point, they're finally going to be taking enough beatings. They're going to have to reimagine themselves. And that 2025 thing and Roe v. Wade are all losers to them. So they're going to have to change things significantly. It's real cool if somebody puts something on a piece of paper and says, oh, we got to be scared. I'll be scared of that shit. It's never going to happen. Republicans are on life support. And I'd like to unplug those motherfuckers. Let's see. I was once a Republican, but they left me. I know a lot of people who feel that way. Anyone is better than Trump. He's trying to be a dictator. He has no business in office. I think we've got to avoid all Republicans, at least for the time being, until they cleanse their fucking souls, because they're all Satan. Will we see term limits for SCOTUS? I hope so. I mean, 2024 is going to be interesting. If we get control of the House and the Senate, there will be some changes made. They should stack the court, and they should add term limits. Whether they will do that or not, I'm not sure, but that should be one of the first things they should consider. To be stuck with fucking clowns for a lifetime till they're 100 years old is ridiculous. Hi, Boomer. I heard a lot of GOPs aren't going to run in 2024. Yeah, a lot of them are leaving Congress. They're retiring because they don't want to be part of this fucking mess anymore. And that may have a factor in how those districts turn out. Republicans don't want to bring America together. They're a party of us and them. Yeah, absolutely. Unity isn't in their vocabulary. John McCain would have a hard time now. Yeah, he would. He would be upset. He'd probably become a Democrat. What do you think Trump has on the Republican Party? I don't know that he has anything on them other than he has them hoodwinked to think that he can primary anybody and that he can get them kicked out of their jobs and they're scared to death of losing their power. But look at the last several people he's endorsed. None of them have won. Once McCain was gone, there were no more Republicans that stand for anything. There might have been some that stand for some things, but the problem with that is that they're too afraid now. McCain had a good mind and a good heart, but he was also brave too. We have no brave motherfuckers in the Republican Party at this point. What do you think of Johnson flying that flag outside his office? Didn't see the flag. I know he went down to talk to Donald Trump, which doesn't surprise me. But I'll be honest with you, between Mike Johnson and Donald Trump, if they're even in the mix a year from now, I'll be very surprised. I don't think Mike Johnson lasts another 4 months. I like Newsom. Yeah, I think he's a good dude. How was Trump able to turn people into thinking what he's saying is true? Well, there's no accounting for stupid people. Sometimes if you speak loud and strong enough, there are certain people that will buy into it. Unfortunately, it's a lot more than I ever imagined. Good day from Australia. Glad we keep our politics and religion out of daily talk for the most part. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? There was a time when we didn't really talk about it much, but because we didn't pay it much attention, that's why we are where we are today. I hate what Hot Wheels Abbott's doing. Yeah, Hot Wheels Abbott. He's a piece of shit. He needs to go. What are your thoughts on the younger generation really pushing for a third party? I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's true. Here's the deal. Everything you hear like that, oh, the young people are going to vote against Joe Biden because of Israel. Really, they're going to vote for the people that took away abortion, the biggest issue for them? This is all Republican messaging. It's getting out into the media. They're coming up with these fake polls, and they're doing this to um, try to taint Joe Biden. Remember that. That's what the Republicans have always done. That's always been their strategy. They don't deal with policy when it comes to presidential elections. They try to smear them. They did it to Hillary. They tried to do it to Obama. They tried to do it to Biden the first time, the dirt in Ukraine, and now they're trying to do it again. Do you see Vivek dropping out next? I don't know. He's an arrogant fuck. He has no chance at all. I think he's doing it for the publicity more than anything, so he'll probably hang in there as long as he can. GOP smears everyone. Yeah, that's their whole policy. That's their whole strategy. They just smear their opponents. They don't beat them with policy or strategies or anything. Republicans, Gen Z isn't influenced by religion. No, but they are influenced by their own constitutional rights. Here's the thing. I'm against making abortion illegal, but nothing with me. I've been married 40 years. My wife and I are in our 60s. We're not going to have an abortion. But these young people might be put in a position where they need to be, and that's what they're considering. Why is George Santos not out of office yet? I think he's going to be pretty soon. They're going to vote on it, and this time they will kick his ass out. I mean, when you take the money from your campaign and buy makeup and Botox and OnlyFans, that's pretty embarrassing. They're going to kick his ass out. Let's see. Hi from Harris, Minnesota. I drive through Harris quite a lot when I go up to Duluth. TikTok Rocker, you are my favorite podcast. I rarely miss a show. Thank you very much. Capital punishment for Trump, save America and our generals' lives. Yeah, I don't disagree. The things that Donald Trump is talking about doing if he were to become president is pretty vicious, pretty fascist. Stank from TYT is running for president also. You know what? I used to watch the Young Turks and Sank. I used to kind of like them, but I think I don't know what, I'm not fans of them anymore. I don't watch them. And Sank, I think he's caught up too much in his whole fame thing. I think he's bigger than he thinks he is. I may be wrong by that because I haven't watched him lately. Running for president, what does he expect to gain by that? He's certainly not going to win. It's like me saying I'm going to run for president. Why? Jan, Mom, just because we wouldn't do it ourselves doesn't mean we can't support the cause. Absolutely, I agree. I agree with you. I'll tell you what, anytime our government wants to take away a constitutional right, any constitutional right, that is a red flag, and we're headed down the wrong path. Because once they do it once, they'll do it for another, and ultimately it will bite you in the ass. Sending love for Virginia, and thank you for all the true information you give us, Team Boomer. Thank you, Ree. If Trump wins, he will still face legal challenges and may have to resign. It would be poor. Yeah, he might try to make the federal stuff go away, but he's not going to make Georgia go away. So, yeah, he's in trouble. See, that's the thing. I always talk to people like I talked to Jeff. I said he has 91 felony charges against him. He has 2 states going against him. Do you really think he's going to run the table? Well, no, of course he's not. Fact of the matter is he only needs 1 or 2 convictions and he's fucking done. So you've got 91 felonies to date. These district attorneys have conviction rates of 98 to 99%. He's going to get multiple convictions and he's going to be done. It's just inevitable. The odds say that, and logic tells you that. Princess Sparkle, lots of Minnesota in here. Hi, from Minneapolis. A from Minneapolis. Grew up in South Minneapolis, so I'm very familiar. How and when do you think Trump will be out of the race? I don't know either. I just know he will. There's a lot of factors that could come into play. I think the pressure is going to be too much on him. I think he's going to slip. I think that he's going to run out of money, especially when they take all his money away from him. Any money he's grifting is going to his legal defense. So how do you run for president without any campaign money? I would vote for Boomer, need new blood, get rid of the old blood. Well, I'm old blood too. I'm 63. I think we should get out of the old white guy thing and get into some younger people and more diverse people. I miss the old days of Reagan. Yeah, I don't know if I miss the old days of Reagan. It seemed good at the time, but let's be honest, Reagan was the start of bringing us where we are now. He's the one that stopped funding medical or mental health centers. Now we've got people with mental health problems running around the streets, homeless, committing crimes. He's the one that said, we got trickled down. Just give all your money to the rich people and you'll benefit. Never fucking happened. He's the one that gave loopholes to all the rich people so they don't have to pay taxes. I voted for Reagan in 1980, and I'm sorry I did. South Side as well, 38th in Chicago. Know it well. I had some friends that were on 38th in Chicago. Went to Roosevelt. So you're probably a lot younger than I am, so we don't know each other. Do you see Nikki Haley as a strong contender? I think she's the one person that looks the most normal in the Republican Party. But here's the problem. Nikki Haley is a woman, and her parents are East Indian. That's not the kind of person the Republicans will support. I'm sorry, they're racist, they're misogynist. Chris Christie, I don't think he even believes he'll be nominee. I think he's making enough noise to get him a job on television. Two of my sons went to Roosevelt, and you and I are around the same age. Oh, okay. But you didn't go to Roosevelt. Um, I have some people that friends of mine that teach at Roosevelt or did teach at Roosevelt. Hi, Mike from Savannah, Blue Justice. Hey, Blue Justice. I'm anxious to get back down to Savannah. It's been a little while since I've been there. I think my wife and I are going down toward the end of December. We've normally been down there a couple of times since the last time, but we've been tied up with other shit. So I'm anxious to get back to Savannah, my favorite city, beautiful place. Thank you. Do you think Trump will go after the Republicans if he gets in? I think Trump will go after anybody who gave him trouble. No question about it. That's what Donald Trump does. Blue Justice, Tybee. I love Tybee. We go there every time. Our condo is in southern Savannah, down by Georgia Southern, that branch. I can't remember what it's called, but we're down by there. And we go to Tybee all the time. Even if it's too cold, we'll go down there and have lunch or something. Princess Sparkle went to Holy Angels. Oh, that's not too far from there either. I was on Jeff's lives today. I told him that he listens to respond and not to understand. I think you're right. See, he thinks he's really good at this, and he's not. He just rambles and it's rhetoric and bullshit, and he has no facts or nothing. See, he's all about getting views. And I told him, I said, dude, worry about the content, the views will come. But he doesn't get it. He wants to do a shortcut. And he said, well, I got 7,000 followers. I said, well, that's well and good, but how long have you been doing it? He says, well, just about a year now. I said, after a year, I had 100,000 followers. And I wasn't trying to get followers. I was just trying to do content. You were in it a year and you got 7,000 followers, and all you're trying to get is views, trying to stir shit up. Maybe you should switch it around. What you're doing is not working, bitch. Will Trump be convicted before the election, though? Yeah, I think he will. The DC won for sure. Possibly Georgia, but I doubt Georgia. Why do Latinos vote for Trump? I've never understood. I don't get it either. I don't think all Latinos vote for Trump, but I think a fair amount do. And for the life of me, I don't know why. God damn it. The Cubans do too. I don't get it. Jack Smith has 68 Republicans ready to testify against him. They will toast him if he gets in office. Agree. Do you think Trump can win? I don't think Trump can even get in the race. No, Trump can't win. I'll guarantee you Trump won't win the presidency. Um, do you think the kids will serve time? That I'm not sure of. It's possible. It's possible because, see, one of the things you remember in the Manhattan District case, Elvin Bragg chose not to prosecute Donald Trump, but he prosecuted the company and Alan Weisselberg. Now that this lawsuit is going where it's going and Donald Trump is clearly shown to have committed some crimes, I think there still may be some indictments coming for Donald Trump and maybe his kids out of the Manhattan District. Not positive, I just get that feeling. They didn't think Trump would get in before, but hello. Yeah, that was a different deal. You can't compare 2016 to 2024. We know too much. We've experienced too much. We've lost so much. Donald Trump was an unknown commodity in 2016, and as far as politician, that's not the case anymore. You can't compare 2016 to 2024. No, no, you can't. We're going to watch when you try to cheat at this time. Yeah, that's true too. Biden will lose to anybody but Trump. No, that's not true. You're wrong about that. Who could he beat? Or who could he lose to? Chris Christie? No. Nikki Haley? No. U.S. political establishment caters to Zionism, especially to Netanyahu's ultra-nationalist government. Well, I tell you what, I don't talk about that conflict. That conflict has been going on since before I was born. And I don't know enough about it. I don't have a dog in the fight. And no matter what side you pick, you're going to get shit. So because I don't have a dog in the fight, I don't choose a side. Why haven't we heard or seen Putin? Well, that's a good question. But you got to know that Putin is behind this Hamas thing, one way or another. I think Putin is trying to lay low with his Ukraine war and get everybody focused on Israel and Hamas so he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And we can't get caught in that trap. Who is your favorite president? It's hard to say. They all had their problems. The one guy that seemed to talk the straightest in my lifetime, and I was just born, probably Eisenhower, but I don't know enough about him to uh, uh, really say for sure. I liked Obama in as far as how he ran the White House. I don't think he got as much done as he should have, but I also understand he was obstructed by the Republicans, so he didn't have much chance. Hold on one second. All right. Religion is the basis for East. And let's be honest. Religion has caused more deaths in this world and its history than anything else. Jimmy Carter was the most decent and moral president. Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough to say. Trump will not escape 91 charges. You're absolutely right. He will not escape. List Biden's accomplishments so far: infrastructure, COVID relief, the CHIP Act. There's tons of them. Better yet, list Trump's accomplishments. He raised your taxes. He didn't build a wall. He didn't get health care. He didn't do jack shit. Let's see. Religion is learned insanity. That might be a little strong, but I get it. You know, the thing about religion, and I'm talking about organized religion with churches, the way I look at it is they are clubs run and operated by people who are flawed, and they use um, the spiritual part of it to their benefit. You don't have to go to a church to pray to God. You don't have to go to a church to deal with God. I just don't trust it when we've got dumbass people running things that are greedy. Let's see here. Trump's healthcare plan was always coming in 2 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. Never saw the healthcare plan. 2 weeks from now, it was coming. And somebody just said he raised the debt by 7 billion. No, he raised it by 7 trillion, the most of any president in history. Why do courts give Trump lots of exceptions? It's fear. He's a former president. They're afraid of causing problems politically and otherwise. They're gutless. They should treat him like anybody else, but they don't. Hey, brother, watch you all the time. Great commentaries. Keep it up, Frank in California. Thank you very much. Poetry Siren, 7.8 trillion, 25% of the whole debt. The debt's been there forever, and he added 25% to it in 4 fucking years. That's what Donald Trump did. All right. Great Captain, please do not engage with trolls, just ignore them. Jimmy Carter helped save Canada from a nuclear meltdown. I don't remember that. I should, but Jimmy Carter was a good man. There's no question. But they weren't afraid of turning R versus W or Roe v. Wade. God damn it, that's still going. These things go by so fast, and sometimes it's hard. Can we speak on Project 2025? I already did to a certain extent. And all I can say about Project 2025, it's the boogeyman. It really doesn't mean anything unless a Republican president gets in the Oval Office, but that's not going to happen in 2024 and likely not happen in 2028. In 2024, when the blue wave hits the Republicans, they're finally going to realize, fuck, we better change things up. And when they decide to do that, that Project 2025 will go by the wayside. So don't worry about Project 2025. It's not going to happen. All right. When Carter was a nuclear sub commander, he did. It's a great story. You should look it up. I have read it. Blue Justice says you still sick. Yeah, a little bit. It's not so much I feel sick, it's just congestion. Wayne says go Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings have been looking good. If their coach can get the play calling down, we've got some things put together, but fuck. Mike, you're invited to a wonderful Parisian food whenever you're in Toronto. Well, you know what? That would be, did I say Parisian? I meant Persian. That sounds good. Actually, my wife and I are talking about going up to Montreal and Toronto. Her airline that she works for now flies to both those places. And I've been to Toronto before. Beautiful city. I'd love to go to Montreal too. So we might take you up on that. Let's see here. Yeah, Carter was a genuine nice guy. He was, and he continued to be after he left office and up until currently, where he's 99 years old. Are we going to take the House and hold the Senate? Absolutely. I don't see how we don't. Who's going to vote Republican after they made Roe v. Wade illegal? See, that's the thing. You can worry about all the things that Donald Trump has done. That one issue, overturning Roe v. Wade, is the one that sinks it for the Republicans in 2022 and 2024. Don't we need things from Saudi Arabia so Jared Kushner's deal may not be pursued? Yeah. No, I don't think he'll be let off the hook because of that. Lucky says, I'm the last baby boomer, 1964. Yes, you are. I'm close behind at 1960. I'm the last year baby boomer. Yeah, you are. Where do the Vikings keep their Super Bowl trophies? That's a joke. They don't have a Super Bowl trophy. They lost 4 Super Bowls. Come on up. It's a beautiful city. Hot women, great beer. Well, we got a problem there. I've been married for 40 years. My wife would come with me, and I don't drink. So I'll go for the food. Love the way you put Magachev in his place. Yeah, and actually I was a little too easy on him in retrospect. I tried to keep it as civil as possible. But after how I saw he reacted after the fact, I wish I would have fucking hammered him. After presidencies, Democrats still work to serve the people and Republicans always serve themselves. You said it. Have you heard any news on Jared Kushner? No, I haven't. There's so much other shit going on. I don't expect to hear anything about him anytime soon. Gooby Loob says, I would love to participate at dinner in Toronto. Is that where you are, Gooby? Are you in Toronto? In Ohio, backing out of the abortion constitution deal. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there. They're going to try to ignore it, but I don't think that will work. Hey, Boomer, 1963, New Orleans here. Love New Orleans. Last time I was there, I stayed in the French Quarter. Beautiful place. Great food, great culture, great people. I'm looking forward to getting back there too. Yes, sir. Born and raised in the good old TO. Well, when I come into the TO, I'll look you up. Like I said, I'm going to Vegas on December 8th through the 11th. My wife and I, my brother, and my nephew. And I'm hoping to catch up with Old Soul when I'm down there. She's a great lady. If you don't know who Old Soul is, check out some of the podcasts she's on it. Everybody who hears her falls in love with her. She is absolutely outstanding. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper will be my choice for 2028 POTUS. I don't know anything about him, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on Robert Kennedy? My thoughts on Robert Kennedy are very similar to his family's thoughts on him. He's a fucking goofball. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's an anti-vaxxer. He is, I say, let him run separately because he'll take votes away from the Republicans, not the Democrats. Love this live. Thank you. Got to go for now. PK Gal 51. Thank you for stopping in. MSNBC reports Jared is in the center of Univision media changes. Would not be surprised. Would not be surprised. You would think that Jared would want to lay low after all that's gone on and what may go on. But apparently not. His ego is fucking going nuts. San Francisco Giants girl says you're truly one of the most intelligent creators. Well, I don't know if that's true. Honestly, there's very bright creators out here. I just know what I know. I don't know a lot about everything. I just know a lot about some things. This is going to be a close election. Many Democrats are openly saying they will not vote for Biden. I don't believe that's true. I believe that's Republican messaging. I don't think it's going to be close. And I'll put it to you this way. Donald Trump lost by 7 million votes in 2020. If Donald Trump is the candidate in 2024, please tell me what he's done to gain support and votes since 2020. He's done nothing. If anything, he's lost support and votes. So he's more likely to lose by 10 to 12 million votes. So no, it's not going to be a close race. And Russell Collins, I love your election 2024 confidence. I felt the same until recently. And settle down. Don't let the narrative, don't let the rhetoric get you down. This is all Republican shit shoved in the face through the media. It means nothing. Remember, I told you there would be no red wave in 2022, and everybody was convinced there was going to be. And guess what? There wasn't. It's going to be worse in 2024. Trust me on this. Lex Defender, love you. You're live. Thank you very much. Do you think Trump really had COVID? Yeah, I think he probably did have it. I think Cassidy Hutchinson made mention of it. I'm only sorry he wasn't one of the million. I tell you what, Donald Trump's not in the best shape, and something's going to get him. Come to Nova Scotia. I would love to come to Nova Scotia. It's a beautiful place, I hear. Hello from Illinois. What up? Hey, Mike, love when you have old soul on your podcast. Love listening to her. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does. I feel like if I have old soul come on, I just flip on her mic and sit back and listen. I don't even have to talk at that point. I need you to keep telling us that with your confidence. Well, you will continue to hear that. I'm absolutely confident of that whole situation. Hello from Jamaica. Yeah, I know. I get a lot of people coming to me from Jamaica. You think Trump has dementia? I think Trump has a lot of things, and I think he is losing some of his cognitive abilities. You can hear it in his speeches. He refers to in competition, being in competition with Obama, for God's sake. I would totally not blame you for skipping Toronto to go to Nova Scotia. Fuck no. I like to travel. My wife likes to travel. We're not going to skip over anything. We're going everywhere that we can go. Hi from New Zealand. Hey, Biden sure as hell does. I don't know what that even refers to. Your lives and posts make me relax. Well, that's good. You know, here's the deal. In life, people are anxious or have anxiety about a lot of things. And this is why I'm a little more even tempered about this stuff. You can have something that's upcoming, maybe 3 or 4 days away, and you're anxious and you're upset and you're worried. And then you get to that point, and then whatever you were worried about doesn't happen. And then you're relieved, right? But think of this. Think of the 3 days you wasted being worried about fucking nothing. Hey, I'm in Nova Scotia. When are you coming? I have no specific plans. I don't know. My wife would like to go there, and so would I. Can Dems and Biden win in 2024? Absolutely. I have no question in my mind. I'm Gen X, live in Tex Hell, and adore your videos. Thank you and keep going. Absolutely. I won't stop. Love that the maggots are showing us they can spell their God's name. I can't believe they're letting Trump on the ballot again. Well, don't be too downhearted about that, because everybody is really talking about that he's probably going to be taken off the ballot. This is all this bullshit, red tape, bureaucracy process shit. She did what she did. She admitted that he was part of the insurrection, which is a big deal, but she's going to let him on the ballot, but then of course it's going to be appealed, and then he'll probably be taken off the ballot, and then he will appeal it to the Supreme Court. That's not done yet. That's just not done yet. Let's see here. Rocket Surgery says, hola, hola. Greetings from Louisiana. I always feel better about things after listening to you. You really calm me down. Thank you. If I can do something that's positive for people that listen, I feel good about that. Hello, Mike. It's Jesse from Kentucky. You sound much better. I listen to you each day. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am feeling better. At least I can talk without choking on my own tongue. Matthew Parker says, you're a great man. I wouldn't go that far. I try to do my best, but the title of great men only go to certain people. It's crazy how all the news medias quote all these polls, and they've been wrong over and over again. Yeah, well, you got to understand the news stations have skin in the game. As long as they keep you nervous and upset, you're going to keep watching. I always liken news media to boxing promoters. I mean, you could have Mike Tyson fighting Paulie Shore, and they would tell you, well, Paulie Shore is pretty tough. This is going to be a good fight. It's going to be down to the wire. It's just about promoting a fucking contest so that you come and watch. All right. Continuing on. Polls lean heavily on landlines. Well, that's the thing. We don't know who owns the polls, what their agenda is, who they're calling, and what questions they're asking. You notice sometime when they show a poll and they show approval, disapproval votes, that doesn't factor necessarily into actual votes. They asked what the disapproval rating is. I mean, if you may disapprove with Joe Biden, but if your choice is between him and the devil, well, you're going to vote for Joe Biden. You may not be happy with him, but fuck it. In Tex Hell, my mag nut neighbors finally moved to Florida. Well, they went from the fire to the furnace, or the furnace to the fire. What do you think about Cotton flipping to Republican after being elected Democrat in NC? I think he should be forced to resign. He defrauded the people who voted for him. They thought he was voting for a Democrat, and he flips Republican. It's absolutely bullshit. He should be forced to leave. The choice literally becomes Joe and the devil. It absolutely does. You're not wrong. I'm hoping we can flip one of our seats in Texas. I agree. I hope so too. I hope we get more blue states than we imagine. Thanks for helping this confused Canadian understand the American justice system better. No problem. Would women lie in front of their husbands in the polls given? Look, I had somebody send me an email, and he said that he regularly is on a list to take polls for the Republican Party. They will pay these people, in this guy's instance, $150 to take the poll, but they pre-interview him to make sure he's going the right way. And he says, for $150, I'll say whatever the fuck they want to say. He's a Democrat, but he'll tell them what they want to hear just to get the $150. Knowing that's part of the polling tells you a little bit about the integrity of the polling. I hope I will feel like traveling in the States again. I certainly don't right now. I get it. Do you like Gavin Newsom for future office of the president? I think he'd be a good choice at this point, but it's not going to be till 2028, and a lot of things can change between now and then. Oh, Boomer, I just watched part of the debate and got a headache. He never answered one question. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You remember in the debate, I told him flat out, I said, good talking to you, but I still think you're a dipshit. And he looked at me like, how dare you? And I said, I meant it, man. You're a dipshit. You'd have to be to believe the things you believe. What do you think about Cuomo coming back? That doesn't surprise me. I mean, Cuomo is a dirtbag, but there are very few politicians that aren't dirtbags. So what are you going to do? It's up to the people of New York whether they want to vote for him. I really hope young people come out for the vote. I think they will. I'm sure they will. I mean, let's be honest. Do they want old white fucks like me to determine their future? I would hope not. They're going to have to determine their future because they're going to have to live with it. I'm not. I'll be long dead by the time their future comes around. I'll be fine. But if young people want the future to be better and have lived better lives, now's the time to act. Sneaky G-Man, love your content. Please keep up the good fight. Thank you. What's Rudy up to lately? I think he's sweating 5W30 Pennzoil right now. If they put a gag order on him and he keeps talking after each court hearing, why isn't he in jail? That's a good question. You know, they're worried about whether they have a gag order or they don't have a gag order, but what does it matter if they don't enforce it, if they don't hold him accountable? That's got to come. That's got to come. I think he ultimately will be held accountable. How? I don't know. TDC 7583 says Joe Manchin. I think he's a non-factor. I don't think he'll end up running. He can't get enough support. Democrats don't like him and Republicans don't like him. So who's going to support him? I know my daughter and her friends are voting, and Taylor Swift is a major reason why. Oh, yeah, that little girl's a phenomenon. If the Democrats had anything on the ball, they would somehow try to get Taylor Swift talking some shit about the election and getting all those little Swifties out there voting. She's quite a powerhouse. She's got more influence than half the Republican Party. I learned so much from you and Clue Man. Yeah, I know Clue Man. He's a good dude. I don't know him. I know his videos. Where do you live in the U.S. and are your political views an anomaly among your peers? Um, I live in Minnesota, um, and I have a place in Savannah, Georgia. Minnesota is a very blue state, but we do have our share of Trumplefux. Some of them have been former friends and even relatives. So I have my fair share of Trumplefux, but mostly a blue state. And Savannah, while Georgia can be a red state, Savannah, Georgia is very blue, one of the greatest cities I've been in. So I don't have too much pushback when I'm out and about. Democrats are so bad at messaging. Yeah, I wonder about that. Um, they seem to be, and I don't know why that is. I guess that's one of the reasons why I do the rational boomer. I say shit out loud that the Democrats should say, and hopefully it catches fire and people hear it and they pass it on to other people and they pass it on to other people. But you're probably right. They aren't very good at messaging or massaging. What are your thoughts on Steve Bannon? Well, he is a greasy piece of shit who's going to be going to jail sometime soon. Not for a long time, maybe a couple of months, but he's going to be caught up in this whole superseding indictments regarding January 6th, too. He may end up spending a lot of time in jail. Democrats value truth and rule of law. Put it this way, Democrats understand what truth is and understand what the rule of law is. Republicans have no comprehension of that. Why is Aileen Cannon still a judge? Well, that's a good question. I think she's going to be booted from her position by way of Jack Smith's motions to the 11th Circuit. Don't know when it's coming, but it will come. No labels movement thoughts. They're a front for the Republican Party, and they don't have a fucking prayer. Greg Abbott is pro-life, but yet women and children are dying with his razor wire at the border. Yeah, Greg Abbott is an absolute piece of shit. He seems to be the mix master in a lot of horrible plans, Bannon. Yeah, he's not a good human. He's a horrible human being, and whatever he gets, he deserves. Discuss why Rep's afraid of 45. Is Russian mafia his henchman? No, it's nothing like that. It's that they think he wields power. He can get them primaried, or he talks shit about them, and then of course all those little Trumplefux go after these guys. They're just cowards. There's nothing really serious that they should be afraid of, but they are. Republicans are normalizing Putin. Tells me all I need to know. Yeah, it's funny. If you went back to the Reagan days, Republicans hated Russia, and now they're best buddies. Michael Mack says, what was your career? Well, I spent most of my life in radio, so that's why I talk like I do. I spent some time in business too toward the end of my career. I think I retired from radio in 2017, 2018. So radio pretty much. I guess that makes sense. Something Great Captain said, and I'll reiterate it. Check out the Rational Boomer podcast wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Yeah, and there's an easier way to get it. If you want to find the podcast, the audio podcast, or the video podcast, all you do is go to rationalboomer.com. You go there, it's a link tree, and it's got a link to all the different platforms for podcast, a link to YouTube, a link to Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. So if you need to find the podcast, just go to rationalboomer.com. All right, back to the podcast. Well, it looks like they took me down. One of the Trumplefucks got through. We had the moderators working on this, but they got us taken down. But I'm still here on the podcast, and we're probably deep enough where we can wrap things up. I appreciate the folks on the podcast listening. This is kind of a weird way to do it, do the live and the podcast at the same time, but we got through another one. Should have ended it at an hour, and I wouldn't have gotten taken down. But, shit happens. Shit happens. So I appreciate you listening to the Rational Boomer podcast and taking the time out of your day to listen. I hope you have a great day. And of course, we'll talk to you again tomorrow.